Good morning, everyone. My name is Jerry Smith, and I've served on the Cornerstone Leadership Council for the past year. I also serve on the Stewardship Committee, and I've been asked to provide a brief financial summary. The Stewardship Committee is made up of several highly committed individuals who've been working together for the benefit of the church, and I was asked to convey the thoughts of the entire committee. As Roland said, during the past week, hopefully you've received a letter from Roland and from the Stewardship Committee. We wanted to take this opportunity to provide some additional information. While working on this financial update, we asked ourselves this question, what's the best way to present this information? We decided that we would be direct, we'd be simple, and we'd be transparent. So here goes. Non-designated giving are your contributions to the salaries, the mortgage loan, and the operating expenses of the church. Prior to COVID, back in 2017 through 2019, things were going very smoothly. Giving was increasing each year, and Cornerstone's incoming revenue was roughly equal to our expenses. And then COVID hit. To anyone that's attended Cornerstone, it's apparent that our attendance here has decreased since the onset of COVID, and it's not yet fully recovered. Many churches have participation levels that are only 1/3 of what they were pre-COVID. So Cornerstone is not in this situation alone. But it is encouraging in recent weeks to see more and more of your faces out there and some new faces as well. And we hope that COVID will no longer be a part of our lives. However, with fewer people attending, financial support for the church has decreased. Compared to 2019, non-designated giving has decreased nearly $100,000 per year. And this isn't a large church, so $100,000 in a year is a lot of money. So what have we done about it? First, we've reduced expenses where we can without significantly reducing the ministries that we offer. Second, we've generated additional revenue through the rental of our real property here at Cornerstone, through high school parking, through sales of pumpkins and sales of Christmas trees. And there are also additional rental opportunities that we're working on. And third, we've applied for COVID assistance programs that were offered by the federal government under the CARES Act. So as you can see from this slide, these programs in orange made up pretty much most of the shortfall that we experienced in the last 2 years, but these government programs have ended. For 2022, our goal for non-designated giving is $451,000, which is equal to the non-designated giving that we had last year, plus the federal support that we received. There are roughly 108 families that actively attend Cornerstone. And first, let me say that Cornerstone has some very faithful and generous givers, and on behalf of everyone, we thank you for being so generous. But we are experiencing a shortfall in financial support, and this shortfall could affect the future staffing and ministries of the church. Today, we project that non-designated giving for 2022 will be about $100,000 short of budget. So let's recap the 2022 pledge that we had. So this is the pledge drive that started back in November for 2022. Out of 108 families, we received pledges from 34 families. Let me repeat that. So out of 108 active member families within Cornerstone, we received pledges from 34. In addition to the 34 pledges, we have 22 families that contribute routinely through electronic funds transfers on a routine basis from their bank. So we're really grateful for these 56 families who provide about half of the church's required financial support. In addition, there are 45 families roughly that have not pledged, but who send checks to the church on a fairly routine basis. So in total, about 75% of our budgeted financial support comes from about 100 families. But unfortunately, looking ahead, we see the possibility of being about $100,000 short of budget. So we have a challenge ahead of us, but we believe that the members of Cornerstone will pull together and step up to this challenge. So what do we need to do? First, we need to bring people back to church. If you know of cornerstones that you miss seeing on Sundays, give them a call and invite them back. Tell them things are back kind of to normal, and we welcome them back. And pass the word to your friends and neighbors that something special is happening at Cornerstone, and invite them to a Sunday service. Part 2, we need to close the $100,000 gap in order to maintain our staffing and our programs. Pledges allow the church to plan our staffing, plan our ministries, knowing that a certain level of funding exists. Our goal is to reach $451,000 in annual pledges, and wouldn't it be terrific if pledges were received from 100% of our members? It would put additional meaning to the phrase that we're all in this together. We understand that everyone's in a different financial situation, but even if each member pledged just what they could comfortably and joyously afford, wouldn't it be an amazing way for us all to pull together? As Reverend Roy says, this is not Roy's church or the denomination's church. This is our church. This is the people's church. This past week, we mailed a letter and a pledge form to your home. In addition, there are some pledge forms out in the lobby. Pledge forms can be mailed back to the church or dropped in one of the offering boxes. So if you haven't pledged, we invite you to participate in a story greater than yourselves by completing a pledge form and being part of the underlying financial support of the church. If you have a recurring electronic funds transfer to the church but have not completed a pledge form, thank you for supporting the church, but please complete a pledge form as we strive to obtain pledges from 100% of our members. And if you've already pledged, thank you. However, we invite you to prayerfully consider adding to your pledge to help us reach this goal. We'll be providing updates in the weeks ahead in our weekly bulletin. And as I was preparing, this talk this morning, with daylight savings time starting today and with the first day of spring a week from today, it made me really think how what Cornerstone is going through is much like the change of seasons. It seems like we've been kind of buried in a 2-year period of winter with COVID, but now we're embarking on a new and promising season. Thank you for listening today and for helping the church in meeting this challenge.